Hey there. So, Tom, I see that you're the owner of 2D Wellness. So, do you have a brick and mortar business
No,
or
no.
no? Okay.
Yeah, it's work out of the house. My wife's a nurse and she had worked in the VA for 15 years and many years in other um, hospital and health settings, but
Okay. And what is your background?
engineering, business. I was in international business for 35 years.
Oh, wow. In which market segment? Engineering or?
No, it was in the consumer goods area. We were actually suppliers to companies like Procter and Gamble and Kimberly Clark and those kind of folks.
Oh, interesting. And what made you look at Pharmanex or New Skin?
It was a combination of things. Mary, in her experience at the VA, they were moving the nurses away from, the direct primary care with the patients, which she had done her whole career, and really enjoyed educating patients and helping, and they were getting put into more administrative positions. So she was not liking the direction that was going, and I was being forced to decide of a relocation that I didn't want to do overseas. So we
Hmm.
decided to both start.
Very good. Interesting. Okay. Sorry, there's so many things popping up on the screen here. Can you see, Sarah?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, let me get that out of the way. Well, thank you for sharing, Tom. I appreciate it. Okay, well, let's just dive into it. Does anyone have any wins or any questions? Anything to share? Go ahead, Sarah.
I don't really have anything
Oh, okay. I
to
saw
share
that
right now.
cute smile on, so I thought you wanted to share something.
No.
Okay. Anyone else?
I do have a question. So, Tom, you asked me to be your friend in LinkedIn this week. Then I got a response from you after I accepted. Was that something you are doing through Tech Time, or is that something that you just go in and do after somebody accepts your friendship?
I've done it just naturally when somebody accepts, doing it, I'll say manually, but I'm trying to look at how to automate that through Tech Time.
Yeah, I was gonna say I connected with Tom, but I didn't get a message in my inbox, so
Yeah.
Sorry, Nabs.
you must be special, Jules. Um, I heard Paige last week say that it's not available for Tech Time as yet. Am I correct in understanding that? Yeah, it's just available for the Facebook page and the Instagram profile. So, um, however, I feel like there's some way where we ought to be able to do that, Sarah, don't you think?
I don't know.
Yeah. That's a good question. Maybe we'll do some research on that, Jules. So, um, okay, I have questions, probably Tom, towards you, because I feel like you're the most senior of us here, maybe have involved in the farming side much longer or more in depth than we have. Um, what I've noticed is that upon demonstration of the scanner, especially to doctors, because they're so used to the kind of old way of reading labs, etc., with the vitamin panels and everything else. And because our output on the scanner looks so generic, like they question that. They're like, oh, but I'm looking for a more detailed report. Like, um, where's the correlation between this score and the patient's health? Because here's a patient that does IV infusions, that takes their supplements, yada yada yada.
Mhm.
So what is your response to that typically?
Well, there's a lot of studies, and if you go through some of the business presentations from the folks on the Pharmanex team, because that's where I started. I mean, we were only focused on Pharmanex, not on the new skin products. But
Hmm.
there are tremendous studies out there that link the relationship of your carotenoids, oxidative stress, which then leads to inflammation and chronic diseases. So, and I share those kind of information with doctors. They want to see those white papers. They want to see those studies. Um, so
Okay.
I get into those kind of conversations with them.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. And that's kind of what Sarah Jansen and I did discuss yesterday as well. But I wanted to, hear from someone like yourself. Like you said, you're so experienced with Pharmanex, right?
If you haven't been on PubMed, PubMed is where everybody familiar with PubMed. You
Yeah.
can just type in any chronic disease and oxidative stress, and
Mm-hmm.
you'll get hundreds, if not thousands and tens of thousands of studies making that correlation.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. No, and I've done that, and it's overwhelming. I've never read any. But I know that there's hundreds of thousands. It's PubMed. Gloria, good morning.
PubMed.gov, I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is, right? Okay, so a second question, the whole wholesale versus retail. And I know that you all generally in Pharmanex go in with the wholesale mindset, correct?
Yes.
Now, how do you have the conversations with your doctors as well? Because another thing that's come up in my conversations is, they're um, repping or stocking some other supplements. And we know that ours, qualitatively is by far exceeds them, right? However, I'm not going to go shame them for what they have already. And they're like, okay. And some of them have, genetic testing and everything else attached. So I understand why they still want to maintain that relationship. However, what I hear is, 4% commission, because that's what they see when they sign into Stella. Like your commissions are very low. And then on top of that, if you're not charging retail profits, like how do you have that conversation with them? I know Paige has mentioned, well, oh,
Yeah, typically a practice is going to earn more like 28% if they, if they've got a fairly decent population census on their practice. I mean, 4% is the lowest level,
mhm.
entry almost, and as they accumulate volume, their percentages are going to go up to 28%.
Right. But a lot of them are used to earning profit, and these are commissions.
Right.
Because they see the retail price, and when they log in, they're seeing the wholesale price. Do you have any physicians that sell retail at all because their clientele is used to, those kinds of price points, or do you encourage all of them to do wholesale?
I encourage them all to do wholesale. Member pricing is what I use, the term I
Hmm.
use. I don't even expose them to the retail concept. I do tell them there's a 20% discount from the retail price, and then if you're on subscription, it's another 10% typically. But
Hmm.
the big difference is it's a recurring source of income. It's a
Hmm.
non-paid by patient income for them. It separates them from having to see somebody. We've got examples where I had one clinic up in Tampa that insisted on doing, buying the product and selling it, and it just didn't work. They were relying on the patients to come in to get scanned. It wasn't actually a medical clinic; it was a spa. It was a med spa, and they were doing IV injections, and it was like, well, this will bring our patients in, and we want, they were trying to leverage the program to bring patients into their store
Yeah.
and having the nutraceuticals in the store, and it kind of defeats the purpose of getting them on subscription and getting them that recurring income whether they see the person or not. And that's what happened is that people, when they didn't come in, they didn't get an income. They just had inventory, which is, you know, that's the beauty of our program.
Right, right. It's that same old linear income, right, for them. Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Good morning, Dan. Welcome.
Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
Good,
Good.
thanks. How are you?
Good. Sorry, I'm a little late. We do a mindset call on Fridays on our team, and we just finished that up.
Oh, that's fantastic. No, you're totally fine. I don't think has anyone heard from Dan here previously,
Mm-hmm.
except Sarah and Tom?
Yeah.
Um, I mean, Dan, I know we met briefly, you,
Yeah.
Sarah, and I with Paige, but I'd, love for you to introduce yourself to everyone so the community
Sure.
gets to know you and
Yeah.
maybe share some nuggets. Thank you.
So my name's Dan Burke. I'm based out of Hershey, Pennsylvania. I was in medical device sales for 25 years with a company called Zimmer Biomet. Um, I was introduced to the scanner about 6 years ago now. It just made a lot of sense to me that I would be able to go to physicians that I currently did business with or competitive physicians to talk to them about this technology that could help the patients. And it's been a learning process. It's not always easy. Nothing is when you're an entrepreneur and when you're starting a business. I have 4 different businesses. One in the medical distribution. I have medical reps in almost 20 different states now. I am involved with Pharmanex. That's a big part of my financial, big piece of my financial picture. I also have short-term rentals at a couple different beaches on the East Coast, and I'm involved with a couple of other startup companies. But I got involved with this because I was in an operating room one day with a total joint replacement surgeon, and she had one of her clinical nurses in the operating room that day, and I had never seen her before, and I just started to talk to her about, who are you, what are you doing? And she started telling me that she was there to help optimize the doctor's patients for surgery. And we're having a conversation and kind of just asking her questions about what do they do? Do they get the patients to be more active before surgery? Do they talk to them about diet and all these different things? And ultimately her response was that most of our patients are healthy, just like this woman. And the patient was 350 pounds, had diabetes, high blood pressure. She had 4 or 5 different comorbidities. And I was just like, this is crazy that this is what we consider, that medical practitioners are considering healthy. And it was about that time that I was introduced to Pharmanex, and I was like, this is an opportunity to help patients. Physicians don't want to do it. They don't know how to do it. They don't know how to recommend what products to recommend. They don't know how to measure. And it just made a ton of sense because we could go out to physicians and talk to them about how we can help them help their patients. And if they're private and in private practice, we can help them with ancillary revenue for their practice. And so that's what really got me excited about it. And, I got my scanner. It was vitally important as a sales professional that I actually had the device and had supplements. And the exciting thing for me was when I was selling total joint replacements, I couldn't use the total joint replacements because I didn't need one. And I was out there selling something that I didn't have an experience with. Right. And the exciting thing for me was I could take these supplements and I could have an experience with them, and then I could translate that experience to other people. Right. And so we've done some pretty big things with the scanner. We're instituting into orthopedic practices for perioperative nutrition to help these patients get healthier at a cellular level prior to surgery and help with the recovery after surgery, with LifePak and TRMeGo protein. One of my good team members, Chris, he is placing. He placed 2 scanners in a 350 doctor multi-specialty medical practice about 6 or 8 months ago. They were mostly using it in orthopedics to optimize their patients for surgery. He then had his orthopedic doctor introduce him to the primary care specialists, and there's 35 of them in the group. We showed them the scanner. They loved it. They're like, this is what we've been kind of looking, something like this similar to help our patients. And it helped that Dr. Krikard was already utilizing it in the orthopedic clinic. And so they believed in it because they trusted Dr. Krikard, and we're placing 4 scanners in primary care today. They're ordering them. So, that's 35 doctors. They each see about 20 patients. So you do the math, 20 patients per day, even if they put 20% of those patients a week, I think that the number we figured out was it was going to be end up being like 150 life packs a week. So that's 600 a month potentially. And then through that, he leveraged that with another multi-specialty group that was 2.5 hours away, that we do some business with on the medical side, to tell them, hey, this group is utilizing this technology with their patients. You guys should take a look at it. And because that other group was utilizing it and they knew who of that group, because they're a big group, they said, yeah, we need to take a look at this. And within 5 weeks, we got the green light to place 2 scanners in that practice. And I'm not doing this, I'm not telling you these things to brag. I'm just telling you these things because this is the possibility with the scanner. And what I loved about it most was that, we don't have to have parties at our house and invite 50 friends and be all excited and give them hors d'oeuvres and wine and, to sell products. We find physicians that want to help their patients, and we leverage their patient population to grow our volume, right? And so that's what made sense to me from this whole PharmaNex, system, was that I didn't have to have parties at my house, and I didn't have to go to my friends and family. That doesn't mean I don't go to my friends and family, and everybody in my family are on the supplements. Dr. Picard, he just called me the other day and he said, hey, I want to get everybody in my family on these supplements. And he said, and I've had some friends ask me about them. And so he's like, how do I do that? Because he knew how to put patients in his practice on product, but that's going through a multi-specialty group. So all those patients he puts on product have to go through that group because he's an employee. But anything outside of that, we set up a separate account, and now he puts all of his friends and family and everybody else on his own personal account. And we went to him this week and we said, hey, is there any way that you could introduce us to some of your doctor buddies, your other orthopedic surgeon buddies? He's like, absolutely. He's like, let's get on a Zoom call. You guys kind of tell me what that looks like and what you need from me. He's like, and that would be fantastic. I'd love to do that. So, in the next couple of weeks, what he's going to do is just get us on phone calls. He needs a 5-minute conversation with all his colleagues, get them to agree to a Zoom call. And that's what I do with everybody. Everybody that I attract to my business, they don't need to know everything. And that's the first thing I tell them. The problem is when you bring on a medical device sales rep, they think they know everything about sales, and they see the opportunity and they try to go out and sell it, but they don't know how to sell it. And so when I attract a medical device sales rep to my business, I basically tell them, here's a 2.5-minute video on the scanner. Let's get on a call. I'll run you through it. I'll answer your questions. I just need you to go talk to your physicians or other medical device reps that tell them how excited you are, get them on a phone call with me for 15 minutes or 30 minutes. Just get them to commit. That's all I need you to do, right? And let us do the hard work at the beginning, and then that's how they're going to learn how to present it. And that's one of the biggest failures I had in this business. Was in the beginning, I didn't think I needed anybody's help because I had 20 plus years in medical device sales. And I wasn't being successful in the beginning. I didn't place a scanner for my first 6 months. Now I was working part-time. I was working full-time, and I was doing this part-time. And at the time I was working like 16 hours a day. So I just had the time in between surgeries or when I was driving to have those conversations. So it wasn't a lot of time, but 6 months in, I was like, okay, I need help. I went out to Utah. I learned everything I could at the forum. And I came back much better for it. So if you're new to this business, get your scanner, get on the supplements, get to Utah for the healthcare summit in May.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing, Dan. I didn't realize you were with Zimmer as well. There's a question that came up here, and I had the question as well, because usually I hear LifePak and then G3 or Youth, as the recommendations. But it was interesting that you mentioned the TRMe Go protein. So Julie also wants to know, what products are you getting them on? So is there an initial portfolio? What do you recommend for your doctors to get going with?
For an orthopedic surgeon, this perioperative nutrition, they're musculoskeletal doctors, so they're worried about bone and muscle, right? So when they have these big procedures, these total joint replacement procedures, they're cutting bone and they're disrupting muscle and soft tissue. So they're interested in the protein because it helps build atrophied muscle and repair that muscle. But there's 3 or 4 companies out there now that are talking about perioperative nutrition and selling to doctors based on optimizing their patients for surgery and after surgery. But they're all expensive. They're like $350 to $450 for a 6-week program. So that's a month and a half. $350 to $450 for a 6-week program. And they're all just a protein with an amino acid. They're just shakes with an amino acid and maybe a vitamin C or a vitamin D, something like that. So to me, that's not perioperative nutrition. You know, we need to add in a Life Pack or a Life Pack Nano. So that's the solution for for an orthopedic surgeon would be Life Pack 2 times a day, 2 weeks, at least 2 months before their surgery, and at least 1 month after their surgery, and one protein shake a day, pre and post
Okay,
operative. So
that's
so
fantastic.
that same orthopedic surgeon, he actually texted me last night and he said, "Hey, my 23-year-old son does what does he do with? He takes something with Nubiome. He's autistic. I have a 23-year-old functionally autistic child. What should I get him on?" And so I just quick did a search on PubMed, and guess what? There's a huge link between reduced antioxidant and symptoms from autism. And so I sent him the article and I said, I would put him on at least Life Pack Nano, ageLOC Youth for that epigenetic component. And then you take G3. So just have him start doing the G3 with you and see if you notice a difference in 3 to 6 months in his behaviors and what he's able, his symptoms. And so he's psyched about it. He's like, I had no idea there was a link. I was like, go to PubMed and there's, thousands of articles.
Wow, that's awesome. Guys, I do apologize. I have an appointment that I need to run out to, but I just handed host over to Sarah Jansen, so she will continue. Dan, thank you for all those insights. I'm going to watch the recording so I listen to it, whatever I'm missing. But thank you all for being here, and then I'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, Namini.
I have a question, Dan, about you said you have that doctor, but he works within another practice. Because I'm trying to talk to an orthopedic clinic here in town. They have 2 different locations.
Uh-huh.
So how does that work with if you have one connection there that can get you the connection to the whole practice? How does that work?
So I mean, it's just about having conversations, right? So with Dr. Picard, we ended up my teammate Chris. He ended up knowing, he's in Missouri, like almost on the Illinois border. But he was friends, and he's not a sales medical rep. He's a retail furniture. He had been in retail furniture sales for 20 plus years. Okay, and but through that, he met a lot of doctors and sales reps that he sold furniture to. And so he happened to know a bunch of medical device reps. He started talking to some of the medical device reps about it. They're like, well, we're not interested, but we know a couple doctors that could be. We don't have time to do this. So he introduced us to Dr. Picard, who's an orthopedic surgeon. There's 4 orthopedic surgeons in the practice, but they're employees.
Yeah.
So they didn't feel like they could do this and make because they're on salary and make the money for the patients that they see through their clinic. But they do have the autonomy to kind of do what they want, and they can get paid on what they do, but through the company. So that's kind of how that works. But we asked Dr. Picard, we're like, how's this working in your practice? He's like, oh, it's working great. He's like, ultimately it would be awesome if we could get it to the point where primary care, we're seeing these patients before surgery and getting them on product 2 to 3 months before surgery, and then kicking them over to us to do the surgery and the follow-up from the surgery, and then keep them on product long term, right? Which we love that idea because your problem in orthopedics is, how do we get these patients to be on product long term? Because there's 2 different, it's a dichotomy. You've got the surgical nutrition, and then you've got preventive medicine. So how do you transition these orthopedic patients to preventive medicine? And that's through the primary care providers, because they're the ones that are more interested in that, right? So you have to figure out that transition point. That's not to say it can't be done through an orthopedic practice, you know, there's some marketing stuff that we can do through, you know, Paige's Tech Time AI, where you could develop, you know, marketing funnels or educational funnels for these orthopedic patients. And when they sign up for product, then they automatically get put into, you know, a perioperative nutrition funnel that
Mhm.
explains to them why it's important for their surgery and their recovery. And then, you know, let's say at 3 months, whatever that doctor's protocol is, you know, if it's 3 months, then at, you know, 10 weeks, they start getting emails about preventive medicine and why it's important to stay on the products long term. You know, it was useful for, you know, preparing you for surgery and recovery. However, it's more useful to keep you from getting sick moving forward, you know, something like that. And then basically just educating the patients. And you can do that, you know, you can make that automated. Does that make
Thank
sense?
you.
Did that
Yeah.
answer your question?
Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions? I do have to jump.
Dan, I was good just to ask, I've got several med reps that are actually they're kind of like you. They have a lot of reps underneath them, and I'm trying to bring them on board. Would you be open to having conversations with? I've got two in mind. Are you open to something like that?
As Dr. Evil said in what was that movie? Austin Powers. Yes, for $1 million. No. Yeah, no, absolutely. Just
Okay.
reach out.
All right.
And that goes for anybody. You guys can all get my number from Paige if you need me. Let me know.
That's
Appreciate it.
awesome. Thank you.
All righty. Have a great weekend, everybody. I got to go. I got another call.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to me.
No, thank you. That was great.
See you guys.
Yeah, that was really good. I'm glad he hopped on there quick.
Yeah.
Hey, was there another supplement that he recommended besides Life Pack that I thought I heard Navini say, or was it just the G3 and the protein?
I think he was saying the G3 because the person he was talking to was on the G3 already. And, well, that was for the autistic one.
Yeah.
But anything that builds that antioxidant network, if you get the G3, I would only recommend the Nano then, because you can get it at a much better price point than you get the Nano product versus the
Yeah,
standard.
the Nano G3 bundle's the best deal.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good to know. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I think Dr. Caldwell, if you've not heard of him speak, a combination that he likes to recommend. He's an eye doctor, optometrist, but if he's only doing Life Pack instead of the Nano G3 combo, he'll add in the Optimum Omega or Marine Omega. They drop one of those eye formula or fish oils, but he wants them on the fish oil as well. So he'll offer that, and that's a pretty reasonable package too.
Okay, I guess I have something I can share that is in the works with you guys that I have. I have a new partner who's well, she's a physical therapist, but she started a functional medicine practice, and she's bringing on the scanner, and she is actually doing corporate wellness programs. So that's really exciting. The vision she has with the scanner and doing that. So that's
I think corporate wellness is an untapped area. It's
yeah.
I came from industry. That's where I focus a lot of time on corporate wellness.
Yeah, it was like her vision for it is like it opened my eyes up to, you know, like she when I shared the scanner with her, she just was like, "Oh my gosh, this tool is going to be amazing," because she also goes to locations to like do once a month like educational things for these companies, and she's just going to incorporate that, doing that and doing a scanning thing of employees because she goes like every other month or every 3 months. So that'll be really good to build up clientele through that and exposure and education.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I thought I'm excited about that. She's waiting for her scanner. She's on the wait list. But I heard that they're getting scanners out, I was told, so that's a good thing. Yeah. I do have a question, Tom, for you since you're in Pharmanex. So because there is a lack of scanners, how are you when you're talking to people and they want to get on board, or like how do you address the fact that they have to wait now to get
I'd
a
say that there's a longer wait time now. I don't tell them that they're not available.
well,
Uh,
yeah,
I say that the lead time is a little longer now because of the big demand that's come into the system. But um, the other thing is like if I bring on a rep or something, and we're trying to get creative as to how to utilize the scanners that we've got within the group. So there are, you're not using your scanner every day all the time. You
yeah,
just use it when you're out. But so even if it's sharing, even if it's somebody that it's a practice that is coming on and we can't get the scanner immediately, they can use your scanner
mhm,
and you're logging into their account. The only thing that won't give them is the $8 subscription
the
commission.
reorder or the rescan
Yeah,
fee.
the scan fee. It'll go to you because you own the scanner.
But that wouldn't be such a bad thing if you're
Exactly.
loaning it.
That's
It's kind of
exactly
like the rental fee.
right because you're going to pay $2 a scan
Yeah,
your cost. So I mean, plus that monthly fee is 137 plus tax. So
yeah,
it's a way for you to get some return on that.
yeah, yeah. That's what I plan to do for her. She lives an hour away from me, so I can easily,
Yeah.
travel over there, and do that. So I was just curious how you guys were
Yeah.
addressing that. Yeah, I'm not telling them they're not available. It's just a
Yeah.
longer wait.
Yeah. I said, I leveraged the Prism IO announcement and the excitement around that really caused a big demand on the program. And, so it's pushed the lead time a little bit longer. Usually you could have gotten them in within a week. Now you can't.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'll continue to do that too. I was just curious on that. Yeah, because I still want them to get the package, get the products.
Hmm.
I have a question for like med reps and stuff. How do you bring them on with product? Do you do like the smaller healthcare professional package or
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, but I thought I'd ask.
Yeah, we always, it's bounced around a little bit since I've been involved, but yeah, it's always been a reduced price for the reps.
Okay.
Sometimes it was $1,000 less than what the physicians do. Now there's the even smaller package with a little more stipulations to it. But yeah,
Okay. Cool. All
I was
right.
gonna ask this group how have you leverage the tech time to your advantage to market into, are you seeing a lot of success right now in the capabilities in deploying the capabilities of tech time or um
Um, I personally found the Pharmanex website's been really useful to edify what I'm talking about. And because I don't feel like I have all the language, lingo down and everything, but just telling them that I'm going to send them information that gives them more, and in depth explanation of it, it's gone over really well. Um, I so I've tried to utilize email, and I need somebody to help me with that. I don't know if anybody here, but like my emails keep going to people's spam. I don't know how to make that not happen. So that's something that I wanted to figure out, but I think I have to ask Paige on how to
How
fix
about
it.
the beauty care and the skincare products? Is it more suitable for that? Does it do a lot of lead generation and a lot of sales for you that way?
I think it's useful for, so we made a quick form for like the Valentine's Day sales, and I found it useful to share that form to get people's, like, if they're interested in the product or not. Um, and I also think that I think that you could utilize tech time really well too, if especially if, like, if you run a group or a page that you are like you can do some educational stuff that then would ultimately sell products to funnel people into a
Mhm.
space.
Mhm.
I'm working on that right now. So I've seen I've seen it done by other, and not necessarily tech time, but whatever platforms other people are using that. I mean, I follow the things to see where see where stuff goes. But they're great funnels to like funnel people into a space where you can educate and then ultimately sell them product.
Okay. Yeah, because I have no experience on that side of the business, and if it's available, I'd like to at least explore it.
Yeah, because so I have a Facebook group that I've had it for a long time, but I want to start to educate my customers because I sell skincare. That's like my main sellers are like the beauty products and collagen and like some new biome. I have a couple people on LifePak, like a handful of customers on subscription LifePak, but it's mostly skincare products, and I want to make that shift because I want, like the doctors, I just want it to go out, and I don't want to
Mhm.
have to think about it because I'm tired of because I feel like a lot of the social sellers, which I've done for a long time, that's like a job to do
Mhm.
that. It's not time freedom at all. I mean, you can make money, but it's a job.
Mhm.
Um, and I want to make it less of a job. So I want to create, like, to utilize like a form type of funnel system to get people's information back into my tech time, and then also funnel people into my group where I want to create some education just based on you know, lifestyle choices and eating, but then integrates also products like that I'm using. I mean, I've used a Next products since I started 10
Mhm.
years ago. So that's my idea behind that. I'm more than happy to share when I get that figured out. I mean, I know how to make the form, and then I would share the form on social networks that they fill it out, and then you can have an auto email go to them that would have like a link to your group that they can click and join.
Mhm.
And then you can keep them in an email sequence to keep educating them, and then keep trying to funnel them into a place, wherever you wanted them to go.
Now, have the three of you got to the point where you can create the automation to do that, or
I
is
don't know how to
great
do that.
that? Okay.
Yeah, but I know that I can pay Paige's gal
Yeah.
Trish to do it.
Okay. Okay.
So I don't really care to learn how to do that. I'd rather say, here's the emails. Can you set up the automation?
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Okay.
Yeah,
Tom, I
but
took
I know her fee's like just like $7 an hour, so that's not bad at all.
Sarah and Navini, we all got together and we helped on the Valentine's one. And then I took it the other day and I made a Tanner one. I don't know if you've seen it, Sarah. And then Paige inserted a couple videos for me. So it turned out really, really nice. And I was just taking that video or taking the form and sending it to people. Not necessarily through my tech time emails, just because I have not educated my customers yet that I am going to be sending them emails. I did that with a different platform. And I believe all my stuff was probably going into their spam, and I had to educate them on, hey, make sure you look at this, because once they accept it once, then it will no longer go into their spam. That's what I was told. Now with that other platform, I've watched people, they were sending me emails every single day. It was just religiously coming, and it's like, but I know they had to build those out, and that's not something I want to do every single day because I know they were spending hours doing that. I know the first time I did it, it took me like 12 hours to build something. So I just took the Valentine's one, redid it. It is in the Tech Time page, put it in there. I'm not sure what it's
Order the
quite under.
templates,
Yeah, it's in
the
there.
form
And then there's
template.
even a form that, and it looks really nice. It turned out really good. I was pretty proud of myself. That I was able to do that. So it's in there for anybody who wants to use it. And I think it's a great template because we could turn around and use it for anything, change out the products, and we could throw in wellness products. So it's
I
just,
think I think Paige shared that. I'm not 100% sure, but are you able to share your screen and show us it?
Oh, I can make you a, I think I have to make you a, there. Now you can share, Julie.
okay, let me go into my Tech Time. Give me just a second, guys, because
While Julie's finding that, can I ask kind of a really basic question? Uh, Sarah, do you get your social media followers? Like, I just don't even understand how you guys build a base like that.
So how I did, I don't, so when I started using social media, I had like 300 friends, and they're like all from high school and family. If it was even 300, that's probably a high number. And because I came in with the facial spa and no social media. And then I saw the people in the UK using social media, and I was like, well, what I'm doing right now really sucks, and I'm not doing very well at it. So I'm going to try that. And oh, that looks really good, Jules.
Yeah, she said. Yeah.
And so I just started connecting, like you kind of like you do on LinkedIn. You just connect with people. Facebook, I did the same thing. I like went through like people I already know, and I just look at their friends list because there would be friends on there that people that I actually knew, like from high school, people that I knew that I wasn't friends with, or then I just started getting suggestions, but having also utilizing what we've done, so several social sellers doing what we call shout outs, like having people do referrals for you, then connecting with those people that are interested, expand your network. I mean, a lot of my best customers are friends of my friends, not actually my friends. So that's how I've expanded it over time. But you don't need a bunch of followers. It's I think it's more the quality over the quantity. Because you can have a bunch of following. I mean, if you look at like Instagram, for example, which I don't have a ton of following on there. I don't use the platform that much, but you might have like 30,000 followers, but if they're only getting like 50 likes or, something less, they actually don't have a following that even pays attention to them. Yeah. So you're better off if you have, 300 friends and 100 people watch you regularly.
Okay. Thank you. And
Yeah.
Julie, that looks amazing. Sorry to hijack.
oh no, you are absolutely fine. This
Yeah,
is
it
one
looks
of the
really good.
videos. This is one of the videos that Paige popped in for me, and it's like it just went perfect with it. And I thought, oh my gosh, if we could do something like this with the wellness side, that would be incredible. Because
I really like it.
she has this other one, and it's educational. It's kind of showing him how to do it, talks about it. And I thought these are perfect.
Those must be on SmugMug.
But Sarah, this is literally the form that we did with the
Yeah, and you
Valentine's.
just switched out.
Yeah, and it's like I'm not a real techie person, but I felt so good afterwards thinking, oh my gosh, this really looks good. And
You did
so I sent
great.
it out to customers. I did not have anybody fill out the form, or if I did, I might not have it set up right where it came back to me. I just had them personally message me telling me what they wanted, but I added different things into it, to make it a package, tanner and, do the firming cream, add the body loofah because you need to exfoliate. So I was trying to educate them throughout so that they knew what they should be doing.
So anywhere they click, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Anywhere they click, that form comes up and that's how it gets into Tech Time?
There are 2 different spots on here that I have it. One right here, it says grab your sunless tanner. And then again, I put it down here. It says tone, tan, and exfoliate bundle, save more, so that there were 2 opportunities for them to click it, and it takes them to the same form each time.
Okay.
So, and Paige has that in there. So, anybody can go in and use it. You just have to add the form and then go in and pull the pop-up form so it goes in there. And it took me a while to figure out where everything was, but between Navs, Paige, and I, we figured it out and got it finished. And so what I'd like to do is try to go in and do one of those for different products that are the top selling products. And then I'd like to try to go in and figure out how to do it for Pharmanex side, so that, because I want to start really pushing the Pharmanex side, because all of my customers are so used to everyday products, the uplifting, the firming, the tanning, those they see me do all the time. So now I'm incorporating talking about my scanner, showing my scanner, talking about my supplements. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm ready to get this day started, and showing them different things so that they start, what is that? Because that's all new and it's foreign to them because they've never seen me really talk about supplements before. Except for when we had Meta come out, it was a huge push and I got everybody on subscription, and then they gradually weaned themselves off of it. So,
But you have the wellness website, right? In your Tech Time account. So, and it has
yes.
a lot of the videos and some of the studies and what have you that you could draw
Yes.
from.
Yeah. So now I just need to take time, sit down, and when I have babies with me, so that's probably tomorrow, and try to make a wellness one that we can start using and, kind of stick with that same form. And then I was thinking, sometimes it's just easy if I put up a post and I just tell them, DM me, and they get right back to me, as opposed to, okay, now you got to click this and then fill this out and come to me, and then I'll get back to you. So I keep weighing back and forth. Need to be super fancy. For medical, I do believe they need a lot more information and they need all the clinical stuff, because that's a lot more difficult to sell people on, as opposed to they can see instantly that they got a tan, but they're not going to see instantly that this did anything for them. So I don't know, Sarah, thoughts?
No, I think it's really good. Have you gotten sales from using sending that out?
I had a couple people reach back to me, and they're my diehard customers who, anything they see me post, yeah, I need that, just like with the serum. It's like, really, do you really need that? Because you have all the other stuff, but okay,
Yeah.
so I just have some people who, it doesn't matter what I post, they're going to buy.
Hey, Sarah, real quick, in response to all of your stuff going to spam, this was an issue when we first came to the platform. I remember being on a call with Paige and her saying all her stuff was going to spam. And Julie, maybe you can remind me if you can think of the name, but the one thing Navs and I said we did learn on the other platform was to, as you're creating the email like body to send out, there's a box that you're supposed to fill out on the bottom. Julie, you know what I'm talking about? And you have to fill that box out. And then there's a better chance it won't go to spam. Also, Paige said you're supposed to warm up your market, right? And then Julie also said educate. But not only that, but some people's settings, it will just always go to spam from what I understand. So Julie, do you know what I'm talking about, the name of that box? That one at the very bottom we're supposed to fill out? He said make sure to put in there that's at least like a few words long so that
I'll go back through my notes and see.
And
and I can remember what it is, but I remember on the other platform, it was over on the right-hand side and you had to click it. And if you did not, it would automatically, everything went to spam.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I think for some
Reach to
reason on
Navs,
Pages, it's
probably.
in the bottom.
You can just reach to Navs because she will probably know just right off the top of her head because this is
okay.
core memory now probably because like this is something Paige didn't know and we were so excited to share it with her. But like I said, you have to warm up your market. I think Paige said not just with the Instagram and Facebook messages, but also with the emails maybe and send out like 30 a day. Julie, correct me if I'm wrong. And then also just some people's settings will always go to spam. But if you educate your audience, then you'll know whose go to spam because they have it set that way. And then if they choose to change it, you could help them navigate that, I guess. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But Navs for sure will know the name of that box. I'm
Okay.
not.
I'll ask her.
Or we can ask next Friday if we don't hear before.
Yeah.
And I think that was in the call, what was it? Probably 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Chloe? So it's probably all recorded. But yeah, I'm gonna look it up and see if I can find it, track it down too.
Yeah, very interested in understanding what that is.
Yeah. Okay. I don't have anything else.
If someone
Oh.
figures out what that box is, can they like, because Paige emails out this link, maybe someone could respond to the email with everyone's emails on it, so we would know what the box is.
Yeah. Or I can tell Paige.
If she could text everyone or something.
Yeah. She can say,
Okay.
hey.
Yeah. Just something
FYI,
so
this is what was
so
talked
it would
about on
be
the
awesome.
call. Yeah, I could do that.
And I think that's a common thing, warming up our audiences, because I know Paige has said it, the other platforms said it, books that I've read have said it, that you need to warm them up, because if we've always been communicating with them via Messenger or Instagram, Facebook, any of those platforms, then all of a sudden you switch them over to emails. They're not used to an email coming from you. And most of our emails don't just say Julie Densmore. It's, everyday wellness or everyday beauty. They're thinking, well, who is this? And why am I getting this crap all of a sudden? So if we want them to open them, I think we need to really, hey, I'm going to do this new thing and I'm going to be sending out emails, because sometimes you don't see it in Messenger or block, some reason. And that way that they get kind of used to it. And I think I need to do that multiple times. And I keep telling Glow, I need to do this so that I can start sending email. And I don't think I want to bombard them with an email every single day, because I've watched them and sometimes I look at them when I get them. And sometimes it's like, oh, that's just way too much. I don't have enough time to do that. And it's like, just to sit down and make those emails every single day to send out, even if we can schedule them, that's still a lot of work. Maybe once a week, every, 2 a week or something. So I don't know. I'm just trying to play around and see what works best. But I want to utilize tech time because, just like you said, Sarah, I don't want to be sitting at my computer all day. I want to, have it work for me.
Mhm.
Does anyone currently utilize the Facebook or Instagram messages? Because that's primarily how I communicate right now with people that I sell to. I'm not necessarily interested in getting them into email, but anybody like in the future, as I'm progressing towards the Pharmanex side, that will be more like my professional email situation, right? But has anybody utilized those yet?
No, but I have thought about it.
I keep thinking about it, but I haven't actually done it. So I'm going to work on that this weekend, I think.
Well, I was going to actually ask that, not that way, but I keep hearing Facebook and Instagram, my only tool in the past has been LinkedIn. That's where I've spent my life. But is there any other platform that I should be thinking about besides Facebook and Instagram? Or, do you guys just focus on a critical few, or do you try to hit everything in the social media side?
I feel like most of my people are on Facebook, but we built the beauty side of it. We didn't build the Pharmanex side of it. So that would make sense that you're only on LinkedIn. And I've got a small amount of people on Instagram. I don't know about anybody else, but I know there's like TikTok now and other people are building other places, Lemonade and Pinterest maybe. What about you guys? What do you guys think?
I mainly right now, like a goal of mine is to start utilizing LinkedIn because it gets you a different, I think every platform gets you a different, like it's a different audience. People are on Facebook for, I think, more connection, personal connection. Instagram is to me a little less personal and more people watch people. TikTok is nothing I know about because I don't do any of that. But then, LinkedIn is, you have people who are professionals. You can find those people in Instagram and in Facebook as well. But I think there's strengths to each platform. I mean, I've been connecting with different types of people, and then I'll go, oh, here's her LinkedIn. Like I have a doctor, I found her on Facebook, and I was like, I'm gonna go find her on LinkedIn. And then I found her Instagram. And like she pretty much uses the same kind of, her Facebook is far more personal, but she does share a lot of the same stuff throughout all the platforms. I'm that person who's like, where are you at in all these places? Because I'm trying to learn about them before I go and talk to them. So
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I live in Facebook land. It's just, for me, it's an easier platform to work. Instagram, it's just, there's so much going on all the time. And the people that I see on there, they're doing things that I necessarily don't want to do to draw attention to myself. And they're on there all the time. And I'm thinking, wow, okay, I don't have time for that, for one. Now, talking about tech time messages coming in, I'll see them pop up all the time on my phone and it says lead connection. So if I go in tech time, I'll see their messages and it's telling me it's coming from Facebook, it's coming from Instagram. So I have responded on there and it goes back to them. So it is kind of cool. But most of the time I'll be in Messenger. So it's just quick and easy for me just to respond to them right there instead of going over to tech time. But if I get a lot of the lead connection messages, then I'll go into tech time and I can see all of them because some come from LinkedIn. And most of mine that I get from LinkedIn people saying, hey, can I help you improve your main page? Or they're trying to get me to do their business. And it's like, so, and some of them, I can't tell, are you even a real person? So does that happen on there too, Tom? Because I know like on Facebook and Instagram, you run into bots a lot where people are wanting to be your friend every single day. And I'm looking at their page going, oh, you got 3 friends. Yeah, I'm not even looking at this. Does that happen on Instagram or LinkedIn as well?
Oh, you can get, that you could tell when there's somebody who's trying to do lead connection and it's not them personally doing it. It's coming through some sort of automation, but I just try to be more personable on LinkedIn and do the one-on-one and that sort of thing. So for me, there's disadvantages of using tech time and trying to mass produce stuff, but we'll see. It's not even available right now, but we'll see.
Yeah, I did a training on LinkedIn to learn about LinkedIn. It was a free training. They were selling them, working with them ultimately. But I did get a lot of good information. But just listening to how they utilize LinkedIn is really what I've done on Facebook too, with personally connecting with people and having conversations. I was like, oh, I can do that. I've already been doing that. So I think especially Facebook and LinkedIn, I think, in my opinion, are really similar in how I've used it as a tool for myself. All right. Is there anything else?
No.
All right. Well, this was good. I do want the recording of this so I can re-listen.
Yeah. Will Paige send that out, do you think, or do we need to ask her? Because
I'm going to make sure I ask her and say, hey, I need this record. People need this recording. That was a good one. Good information in it. So yeah, I appreciate Tommy sharing and Julie and everybody. So I guess we'll call it a day unless there's anything else somebody wants to add last minute. All right. All right. Well, have a great weekend, you guys.
You too.
Have a
Mm,
good weekend, guys.
Right.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.